Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Alhamdulillahi wa kafa wa salatu wa salamu ala ibadihi alladhina istafa amma ba'du rabbi shrah li sadri wa yassir li amri wa hlul 'uqdatan min lisani yafqahu qawli wa qul rabbi adkhilni mudkhala sidqin wa akhrijni mukhraja sidqin waj'al li min ladunka sultanan nasira. Bismillah wa billah wa tawakkaltu ala Allah. In the name of Allah, the most compassionate, the most merciful. In verse number 65 of chapter Al-Baqarah, second chapter of the holy book of Quran, Allah is saying, Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim, وَلَقَدْ عَلِمْتُمُ الَّذِينَ أَعْتَدَوْا مِنْكُمْ فِي السَّبْتِ فَقُلْنَا لَهُمْ كُونُوا قِرَدَةً خَاسِئِينَ. Here in this verse, another episode or another event that took place in the history of Israel, in the history of Jews. Allah is telling us and saying that, O people of Israel, you know. And in the verses before this verse, Allah have talked about a covenant, a compact that He made with them. And maybe this verse is mentioning the part that was broken by these people. Some of the parts he of course tells us, otherwise he said that you turn your back to that covenant with Allah. But here in this verse Allah is saying, وَلَقَدْ عَلِمْتُمْ, you know that. And this is another kind of addressing the people. He addresses people with a different tone and with different method. And here Allah is saying that this thing that I am telling you now, you know it better, and you know it. This is not a thing that I inform you. You are aware of that already. وَلَقَدْ عَلِمْتُمْ, you know, you already know. الَّذِينَ, those people, those of you, of course, those of people of Israel, they were also. اعتدوا منكم, they were of you and they transgressed. They went beyond their limit. There was a limit for them in that covenant that they shouldn't go for fishing on the day which was Saturday. Saturday they did not allow to fish. All the week they were allowed. In one day, that was Saturday, they were forbidden from fishing, and they were to do ibadah or take rest or whatever, but fishing was not allowed. So what they did, they somehow they showed their cleverness, and they did like this, that they made some poles there and some water they collected and separated from the sea, and they made a way for fishes to come there and be trapped. And they put their trap and their net or something like that, that fishes were gathered there on the day that they were forbidden fishing, in that day, Saturday. And next day they came, and all those fishes which had gathered there and came to that trap and they were trapped, they fished them and they took them. So this kind of cleverness that they showed for themselves, but Allah said this is a transgression, and this is something that breaking the covenant that you made with Allah. And here Allah not letting them to go without any punishment. Here Allah punishes them and said that whoever committed this crime, they should turn to apes, and they turn apes. Allah is saying like that, وَلَقَدْ عَلِمْتُمْ, O people of Israel, you know, الَّذِينَ, and you remember, of course. In the previous all those ayat, Allah was saying remember, but here Allah is their remembrance is a clear thing that is there. Allah is just gesturing them and saying that you know it, and we are just reminding from our side. وَلَقَدْ عَلِمْتُمُ الَّذِينَ اعْتَدَوْا, they transgressed, they went beyond their limit. And what they did, fi Sabt, and that was about Saturday. So it is not explained here how they transgressed on the day of Saturday. So the punishment is only told here by Allah, and Allah said فَقُلْنَا لَهُمْ, then we said to them. It means that only those people who committed that crime and they went for that transgression, they were only the one who were punished by this punishment. And فَقُلْنَا لَهُمْ, and we said to them, كُونُوا كِرَدَةً خَاسِئِينَ, and we said, here we said, when Allah is saying here فَقُلْنَا لَهُمْ كُونُوا, and in other verses Allah telling us that how his kun means. When Allah says kun for something, that is done. As he said that إِذَا أَرَادَ اللَّهُ شَيْئًا أَن يَكُونَ قَالَ لَهُ كُن فَيَكُونُ. When Allah says Allah wants something to be, then he says be, and that is. So here also Allah is saying that فَقُلْنَا لَهُمْ كُونُوا كِرَدَةً خَاسِئِينَ, be apes. And not only here Allah is saying be apes, but Allah is saying be apes that they are khasi'in, means slinking one, miserably slinking, means they are moving here, there, with very being mean and miserable, and that somewhere in the words that are used for, in a way that is a pathetic one, so much pathetic. And khasi'in, this words means that if an ape is himself is a naturally ape, he is born being ape, that is nothing, that is not a big deal. He's good at for himself, and he's feeling good, and he is not any that is not feeling any shy or ashamed, or that is not feeling any pain of changing to another thing. But when a human being change to an ape, then this is a big punishment, and he feels the punishment. And for this Allah is saying that now you are miserable condition, you have a miserable condition, and you be in there for whatever the time. It is not mentioned what happened to them next, and what whether they changed back after a while, or they were dead after a while, or what happened to them, or some say that still they are there, and that the apes and these things, that we see them now, all are those that they were turned that time from man to apes. So Allah had given them that punishment at that time. In verse number 66, because it is continuation of this verse, and they are somehow connected so much to each other, so if we do it here and continue, say فَجَعَلْنَاهَا نَكَالًا لِمَا بَيْنَ يَدَيْهَا وَمَا خَلْفَهَا. And this punishment that we did to them and we gave them, this was a deterrent. That was an exemplary punishment. That punishment was not only for one act, that punishment was given to them for lima bayna yadayha, that was for this act, wama khalfaha, and those so many acts and practices, wrong practices that they did before. All of them, they were gathered, and now one punishment was given to them, and that Allah changed them to apes. And oh Allah, is that punishment only for them, and for other people what it means? Allah is saying that وَمَوْعِظَةً لِلْمُتَّقِينَ. And again, this is a mau'iza, a lesson, something that can be a lesson, a truth showing actual thing that can show other people that how they will be treated and how they will face the punishment of Allah if they do not abide with the guidelines of Allah and if they disobey Allah. And this is a mu'iza, a lesson for all who are to take security, and they want to be secure, and they want to save themselves for the future. And here it ends. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. May Allah bless you all.